of it. Your desires, your dreams, your challenges, they're all part of the larger cosmic intelligence guiding you home to yourself. On this day, that guidance becomes clearer, more tangible. The signs are everywhere, but only those who are present will see them. The spiritual meaning of July 16th also extends beyond the individual. On a collective level, this is a time of recalibration for the planet. As individuals awaken to their own power and truth, the collective vibration begins to shift. The choices you make in this moment, what you speak, what you believe, what you release, ripple outwards. Your personal transformation contributes to a greater movement of consciousness. This is how change happens. One person at a time, choosing presence over fear, truth over illusion, alignment over distraction. So in this present moment, July 16th is not just a date, it is a call, a test, a portal. It is an invitation from the universe to meet yourself in your fullest authenticity. To recognize that the path forward isn't out there, it begins within. And everything you need to rise, to evolve, to transform is already encoded in your energy. The universe is listening. The question is, what are you broadcasting right now? Your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions, they are your signal. And on this day, that signal carries power. Let it speak your truth. Let it echo your purpose. Let it align you with the version of reality you came here to create, because July 16th is not waiting for you to be ready. It's revealing that you already are. Right now, you may find yourself standing at a crossroads, feeling the pull of something new while sensing the weight of the old. This is the space between what was and what will be. And it is here, in this in-between, that the universe brings the test. It's not a punishment. It's not an obstacle meant to break you. The test is a sacred initiation, a spiritual checkpoint that asks, are you ready to receive what you say you want? Are you aligned, not just in thought, but in energy? In every moment of real transition, this test emerges not because the universe doubts you, but because it loves you too much to allow you to carry your old patterns into your new life. The universe always works in harmony with your evolution. When you set an intention, when you declare that you want to grow, to heal, to step into your purpose, the universe responds. But that response doesn't always arrive as ease. Often it arrives as friction. That friction is the test. It brings to the surface the exact energies, beliefs, and behaviors that are not in resonance with the future you are stepping into. It's like spiritual detox. Everything misaligned must rise to be seen, felt, and clear. So if you're feeling pressure, conflict, doubt, or even confusion, understand that this is part of the process. You are not failing. You are being refined. During moments of transition, the ego clings to what is familiar. It tells you stories of fear. What if I'm not enough? What if I lose what I have? What if I get hurt again? And the universe in its infinite wisdom allows these fears to show themselves. It's not to tempt you back into limitation, but to give you a chance to choose differently. The test is not about proving yourself to some higher power. It's about proving to yourself that you are no longer available for the old vibration. That you trust the unknown more than you fear it. That you are committed to the version of you that's already living the life you're calling in. Think about it. Every meaningful breakthrough in your life is preceded by a challenge. It's the same with spiritual evolution. The test creates pressure, not to crush you, but to reveal the strength you've forgotten you possess. When you're being tested, you're being asked to embody your truth, not just talk about it. Can you stay in alignment when the external world doesn't give you immediate validation? Can you hold your frequency when circumstances try to pull you back into the past? These are the real questions behind every test. The universe is energy. It responds to vibration. When you're in transition, your energetic field is recalibrating, shifting to match a new timeline. But if remnants of fear, resentment, or self-doubt still linger in your field, they will manifest as experiences that challenge you. Again, not as punishment, but as purification. The test is the universe saying, do you still need this lesson? Or are you ready to move forward without it? It's important to understand that the test usually comes disguised. It doesn't always look spiritual. It might look like a triggering conversation, an unexpected loss, a delay, a temptation to go back to an old habit. The test may show up as silence, when the thing you want isn't happening fast enough, and you're tempted to doubt your path. But every test has the same purpose, to help you step out of reaction and into conscious creation. You are being asked to choose from your higher self, not your wounded self. To operate from love, not fear. To respond with wisdom, not old programming. Right now, the universe is responding to who you're being. Not what you want or what you're saying, but what you're embodying energetically. So when the test comes, the invitation is not to fight it or fix it, it's to observe it with awareness. To pause and ask, what is this trying to show me about my own vibration? What belief am I still carrying that allows this experience into my field? The test brings your subconscious to the surface so you can reclaim your power. There is beauty in the test if you look deeper. It brings contrast, and contrast brings clarity. Sometimes you need to feel the tension of the old one last time to fully release it. Sometimes you need to say no to a familiar pattern to open the door for something greater. The test reminds you that growth is not passive. It is chosen again and again. And every time you choose presence over reaction, alignment over attachment, you pass the test, not because the outer world changes, but because you do. In this moment of transition, the universe is asking you to become a vibrational match to what you're calling in. If you're asking for love, are you loving yourself? If you're asking for abundance, are you living in gratitude and generosity? If you're asking for freedom, are you releasing control? The test is precise. It shows you exactly where you still operate from contradiction. And the more honest you are with yourself, the more powerful you become in shifting that energy. You might feel tired, you might feel like you're doing everything right and still nothing's happening. But trust this, the test is always the last phase before the breakthrough. The tension you feel now is not forever. It is the energy of the old world resisting its exit. It is the final opportunity to close the door with awareness. When you pass the test, not by force but by alignment, you unlock the next chapter of your life, not as a reward but as a reflection. This test is not to see if you're worthy. You already are. It's here to show you that you've outgrown what once defined you. That you're no longer a vibrational match to smallness. That you can hold the vision of your future self even when your current reality looks nothing like it. That is mastery, and that is what this moment calls you into. So breathe into this space. Don't rush it. Don't resist it. Recognize the test for what it is, a sacred rite of passage. A moment to prove, not to anyone else, but to your own soul, that you are ready, ready to release, ready to rise, ready to receive. The universe is not testing you to punish you. It is testing you to reveal you, to help you meet the version of yourself that's been waiting on the other side of this moment. And when you meet that version, everything changes. Right now, even if everything around you feels uncertain, chaotic, or emotionally intense, there's something deeper happening beneath the surface. You are being aligned with a new timeline. And this alignment doesn't always begin with clarity or ease. It often starts with disruption. Life begins to shake, shift, and rearrange. Not to punish you, but to pull you into resonance with something greater, something more aligned with your purpose and potential. You might not be able to explain it logically, but you feel it, a sense that things can't stay the same. A knowing that you are being called into a new version of your reality. When a new timeline is approaching, the first signs are usually internal. You begin to notice a growing discomfort with your current reality. Things that once felt safe now feel restrictive. Conversations, relationships, habits, even places, suddenly they don't feel like home anymore. You're not trying to be negative or ungrateful, but your soul is nudging you. It's whispering, this is not where you're meant to stay. That discomfort isn't random, it's guidance. It's the signal that your frequency is rising and your external world must evolve to match it. Another powerful sign is the crumbling of old patterns. You may notice that your usual ways of coping or thinking no longer work. You try to go back to the familiar routines or mindsets, but they feel heavy. They drain your energy. It's as if your system is rejecting what is no longer in alignment. This can be disorienting, even painful, but it's part of the recalibration process. You are being shown what must fall away in order to make space for what's coming. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Synchronicities begin to accelerate. You start seeing repeating numbers, hearing the same phrases from different people. Having dreams that feel like messages. These are not coincidences, they are the language of the quantum field, communicating with your conscious mind through symbols and patterns. The universe is confirming you're on the path. Keep going. Even when it doesn't make sense, even when there's no logical proof, something in you knows this isn't random. These signs are guideposts pointing you toward the reality your soul is calling in. You may also begin to feel emotionally raw. Emotions rise without warning. One moment you feel peaceful, the next you're overwhelmed by sadness or anger. This isn't regression, it's release. As you move toward a new timeline, your body and energy field need to clear out the emotional residue of the past. Unprocessed memories, traumas, and outdated beliefs begin to surface so they can be acknowledged and healed. You are being emptied so that you can be filled with something new. This process takes courage, but it is sacred. Each wave of emotion is a sign that something within you is shifting. Relationships start to shift too. Some people may begin to drift away. Conversations that once felt easy might now feel forced. You may feel a sudden distance between you and people you were once close to. This can feel lonely, even heartbreaking. But it's another sign of alignment. As your energy shifts, not everyone can come with you. Some relationships were only meant to serve the old version of you. Letting go doesn't mean you're better than them. It means you're honoring your truth. And as space is made, new soul-aligned connections begin to appear. You start to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that reflect your growth rather than your history. Another powerful indicator of timeline alignment is an increased awareness of your own power. You begin to feel more responsible for your reality, not in a burdensome way, but in an empowering one. You stop blaming others. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you. Instead, you begin to ask, what am I creating right now? You understand that every thought, every word, every emotion is shaping your experience. You begin to approach life not as a victim, but as a conscious creator. This shift in perspective changes everything. It realigns you with your inner authority and places you on the trajectory of true transformation. Time begins to feel different too. Some days feel stretched out, while others pass in a blur. You may feel like you're moving through life in waves instead of straight lines. This is because you are. Timeline shifts occur in quantum layers, not in logical order. You're being pulled out of linear thinking and into intuitive flow. Your mind may resist this at first, trying to plan, organize, and control, but your soul is inviting you to trust, to surrender to a higher rhythm. The more you release the need to understand every detail, the more easily you move through the transition. You start to receive intuitive downloads, sudden insights, creative sparks, inner knowings that feel more like remembering than learning. These are moments of deep alignment where your higher self is communicating directly with you. You may receive guidance to start something new, to move somewhere unfamiliar, or to change a habit you've held for years. These nudges often don't make sense to the rational mind, but they resonate deeply in the body. When you follow them, even in small ways, you feel more connected, more alive. That's because you're beginning to live from alignment, not obligation. Your physical body also responds to timeline shifts. You may feel more tired, more energized, or fluctuate between both. Sleep patterns change, food cravings shift, you feel more sensitive to your environment. This is because your body is upgrading, integrating the new energy you're stepping into. Treat these symptoms with compassion, not frustration. Your vessel is preparing to hold a new frequency, and it needs your support, not your criticism. Rest when needed. Hydrate, breathe, be present in your body. It is the anchor for your new reality. Above all, one of the most powerful signs that you are aligning with a new timeline is a quiet, unshakable knowing. Even in the midst of confusion or chaos, something inside you whispers, I'm not who I used to be. You sense that you're on the brink of something new. You may not know what it looks like, but you feel it calling you forward. That inner knowing is the most trustworthy guide you have. It doesn't shout, it doesn't need proof, it simply reminds you, moment by moment, that you are exactly where you need to be. So if you're experiencing any of these signs, discomfort, synchronicities, emotional waves, shifts in relationships, inner clarity, know this, you are not broken. You are not lost. You are transitioning. And the universe is aligning you in real time with a reality that matches the truth of who you are becoming. Let yourself trust the signs. Let yourself move with the energy. You don't have to force the shift. You only have to say yes to the frequency of the life that's calling you. The new timeline is not something you chase, it's something you allow. And it's already here. Right now, as you stand in the middle of energetic transition, the universe is presenting a test, not to trap you, but to prepare you. This test is subtle, often invisible to the naked eye, but deeply felt in the soul. It shows up in your thoughts, in your triggers, in the patterns that try to return just as you're ready to rise. And while it may feel unpredictable, there are clear and conscious steps you can take to move through it with grace, power, and presence. This isn't about perfection, it's about alignment, about embodying your truth even when it feels easier to fall back into the old story. Passing the test means becoming the future version of yourself now, not waiting for circumstances to change, but changing your energy in the face of circumstances. The first step is awareness. You cannot pass what you don't recognize. The moment you begin to feel reactive, unsettled, or out of alignment, pause. Don't distract yourself. Don't run. Simply observe what's coming up. Ask yourself, what is this showing me? The test often reveals itself through discomfort. That discomfort is not the problem, it's the invitation. It's the signal that something within you is ready to be seen and released. The test shows up exactly where you still carry fear, control, or resistance. Your job is not to suppress the reaction, but to meet it with curiosity. The second you become the observer of your thoughts instead of the one reacting to them, you shift out of survival mode and into conscious choice. The second step is responsibility. You take full ownership of your energy. You don't blame the situation, the people, or the circumstances. You understand that what's showing up is a mirror, not of your worth, but of your frequency. That doesn't mean you caused every challenge, but it means you hold the power to choose how you respond to it. And that choice is the key to shifting timelines. When you react from the old self, defensive, fearful, controlling, you reinforce the past. But when you respond from the empowered self, calm, intentional, grounded, you create space for the new. Taking responsibility is not about guilt, it's about reclaiming your power to influence your present moment through your energy. The third step is emotional transmutation. When intense feelings rise, whether it's fear, sadness, anger, or confusion, your task is not to suppress or deny them. Your task is to feel them fully without judgment. Emotions are energy in motion. If you allow them to move, they release. If you resist them, they become stored trauma looping in your field. When you feel something uncomfortable, breathe into it. Sit with it. Ask yourself, where is this coming from? Is it mine? Is it from the past? Let the emotion teach you, then let it go. Cry if you need to, scream if you must, move your body. Journal. Do whatever it takes to allow the emotion to rise and dissolve. This is sacred work. It's how you clear space for the new frequency to integrate. The fourth step is conscious choice. In every moment of the test, you are being asked to choose who you want to be. Not reactively, but intentionally, you are asked to choose your future self in real time. This may look like walking away from a toxic conversation, holding boundaries where you used to people please, staying grounded when you'd normally spiral, or speaking your truth when your voice used to shake. The choice is not always loud or dramatic. It can be quiet and internal. A silent decision to no longer betray yourself, to no longer settle, to no longer repeat cycles that shrink you. Every choice you make in alignment with your truth becomes a thread that weaves your new timeline. The fifth step is energetic embodiment. You begin to act as if you are already living the reality you're calling in. This is not pretending, it's aligning your state of being with your desired outcome. If your new timeline is peaceful, you embody peace. If it's abundant, you embody gratitude. If it's love, you embody self-worth. You speak, think, and move like the version of you who has already passed the test. You hold the vibration even when the external hasn't caught up yet, because it will. Your outer world is always the echo of your inner energy. By holding the new frequency, you collapse time and accelerate the shift. This is how the test becomes the transformation. The sixth step is surrender. This might be the most challenging part of the process. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means releasing the need to control the outcome. It means trusting the intelligence of the universe even when the path isn't fully clear. It means knowing that things are unfolding for you, not against you, even when you can't see how. Surrender is an energetic release. It's the space where you let go of the how and return to the what. You focus on what you're becoming, not how fast it's arriving. You let go of timelines, expectations, and external validation. And in that space of surrender, miracles occur. Unexpected opportunities arrive. Doors open. Synchronicities multiply. The universe rushes to meet your vibration. The seventh step is consistency. One breakthrough is powerful, but it's your daily alignment that sustains the shift. The energetic test doesn't happen once, it repeats in cycles, asking, are you still choosing your truth? Every time you choose again, even in small ways, you build momentum. You rewire your nervous system. You strengthen your intuition. You create a new energetic baseline. This is how lasting transformation happens. Not through one big moment, but through dozens of micro decisions that keep you anchored in your highest self. So you stay consistent, not perfect, but committed. You show up for yourself. You stay present with your energy. You keep your word to your future self. And finally, the last step is celebration. You acknowledge your growth. You celebrate the fact that you are no longer operating from the same reactive patterns. You honor the work you've done, not in ego, but in reverence, Celebration raises your frequency. It tells the universe,